Alright, so welcome back to the garage. On today's episode, we are working on installing a timing set. Now, intrepid viewers might see that these are genuine Ford parts, not Chevy parts. That's because today, we're going to be working on my 2006 F150. As I said, this thing's a 2006. Pretty basic truck. XLT. It's got the step-side bed. About 160,000 miles on it. And it's got the 5.4 Triton motor. Now, some people talk trash about this motor. It's actually been pretty good to me. I haven't really had any problems with it. Now I'm starting to hear a little bit of a rattle from the chain, like especially on cold startups and stuff like that. Nothing too serious yet. No lights on the dash, no check engine lights, nothing of that nature. And it's running fine, not running rough or anything of that nature, so I think we're good. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to do the timing job today. So to get into that, we'll need to start tearing down in order to get to the front of the engine. So I'm going to have to remove some of this air cleaner, like the air intake system here. That's going to have to come out. Fan shroud, this front plastic guard here, all that's going to have to get out. We're going to have to take off the upper radiator hose. That actually gives us a little bit more access to the front side of the engine. Anyways, let's get to breaking down. So a couple other quick things that I just wanted to address. Now this, I'm going to show going through the process, but FordTechMakuloco has a huge in-depth video series on this process already. It's like a 4-part series. I'll link it in the description below. One of the few upgrades I'm going to do that he recommends, though, is installing the milling high volume pump, and this is the 360. Yeah, the 360 high volume. And then I'm also going to be replacing the variable valve timing solenoids as well. Cool. Gonna get back to it. Whew. Man, that was a lot of work, but I believe we got everything disconnected here. Got all our coil packs out. We got our wiring harness disconnected here. So all that's left now is pull the valve covers here and then pull the timing cover. Well, actually still got to pull the harmonic dampener too, but we'll get there. Now, the other thing that's going to be fun is those bolts there on the passenger side are buried down there, so we'll have to get that one figured out. Yeah, there she is, stripped down. Good old Ford 5.4. Alright, so update. I've been bashing the crap out of my knuckles trying to get those bolts out of there in the back. So I made a quick run up to the store. I've got a tool that I've been wanting to try for a while now, so went out and picked one of these bad boys up. So we're going to be giving this a shot to see if it helps out with getting those bolts out. Anyways, back to work. Alright, so here we are. Finally got the front timing cover off. It has been many hours. It was light time the last time it was light out the last time I gave my last update. So, front cover's off. There's our timing set. Fortunately enough, I was looking through here, and all my guides and everything still look to be in fairly decent shape. I mean, they're not broken. You know, they're still in one piece. So, it's good news there. It means there's no plastic floating around the bottom. I also took a look at the cover itself, and I saw no signs of damage, so no risk of shavings getting into the oil system either. From what I understand, that's really the worst part of this whole thing is, so the chain will get loose, it'll flap around, it'll chew into, you know, these guides, and plastic and metal will get into the oil system, and it'll clog up the oil feeds into the cams. And yeah, so looks like I don't have any of that. You know, everything in here, I mean, definitely looks like it's had 160,000 miles of wear, but and otherwise looks to be in fairly decent shape. So I think I might be in luck. Anyways, I'm gonna call it for tonight. We'll get on this again tomorrow and start tearing down this timing set and putting the new one in. Alright, so it's a new day. I'm working on breaking down the timing set here on the truck. And as you can see there on the tensioner, Gasket on there is shot, and on there, a little bit of damage, not as bad as this one, but you can see the seals were gone on both of those. So what happens is that caused these to leak down after time. And so when it cold starts, there's not tension on the chain like there's supposed to be. It rattles until these things fill up with oil again and put tension back on the chain. So this is the root cause of our cold start chain rattle. So putting this all back together should fix it. And again, I'm gonna go all the way. I mean, we're pulling everything out of here. I got new chains, new sprocket, new phasers, new guides, everything. So it's all getting replaced. I mean, I'm already in here anyways. I mean, the stuff does look to be in fairly decent condition still, but again, I'm already here. Let's just do the whole job. All right, back to breaking down. So now this is the part that's truly shocking. I mean, these chain guides here are factory. I mean, these are the original chain guides from the truck in 06 when it came out, and they are still, I mean, this one's got a little bit of staining from the oil, but they are still like perfect. Again, I mean, if you wanted to save a few bucks, I could probably keep these in the truck, but like I said, I've got new ones already anyways. They're cheap enough. It's cheap insurance, so we're just gonna go ahead and swap them out. All right, got the old oil pump out too. We're also gonna be upgrading this. We got the new unit here. So this one is just the stock, whatever, I think it's like 40 PSI or something like that, oil pump. And this here is the upgraded milling M360 HV. From what I understand, this is the same unit that comes in like the GT500s. So that should give us sufficient pressure and flow versus this unit. I mean, you can even see just the sheer size difference there between the two. So yeah, when getting this out, I don't have a flex head 8mm ratcheting wrench. I highly recommend it if you do this job, because holy crap, getting that oil pickup line off without it, next to impossible. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna get the new unit thrown on the truck and then start putting our timing set on. All right, so we got our timing chains installed on both sides here. We got them lined up, our marks here, and down there on the crankshaft as well. So we got our VVT solenoids installed. Those are good to go. Crank position sensor disc thingies back in there. At this point, the only things left to really do are put the front timing cover back on with new seals, and then put the valve rollers in there as well. And then we can put our valve covers back on and button everything back up. Home stretch. All right, we're getting to the end here. We're a few days in the future now, because I went to go put the driver's side valve cover back on and one of the bolts snapped. And it happened to be one of the bolts that was at the back, so that was a lot of fun. So I had to drill that out, re-tap it, find new bolts for it. But I think we're all sealed up now. We got everything bolted back in, except for the airbox here, just so that we can just make sure that everything's all good here on the front. What I'm about to do now though is I've got the crankshaft position sensor unplugged. So what I want to see first is if the truck will spin over. As long as everything sounds good as it spins over, then what I'll do is run it for a few seconds to get the oil pressure up. As long as that looks okay, then we will go to putting the crankshaft position sensor back in and firing it over. So yeah, here we go. First I need to plug the battery back in. Okay, now we can crank it over. Okay, so I'm not reading oil pressure. I'm gonna go through everything really quick and just make sure we got everything plugged in. And then, okay, so it was a couple days ago we were last here and I wasn't getting oil pressure reading on the gauge. Now, I've learned a couple of things since then. First off, when I installed the oil pump on this, the instructions I had on it said to install it dry, which is, from what I know, fine. But when you're trying to prime the system by just cranking the engine over without it firing, you're not getting enough rotation for it to build up enough pressure to show on the gauge. So, lesson learned there. So I hooked our crank position sensor back in, fired it up, and almost instantly got pressure reading on the gauge. It's actually reading up like 2/3 of the way on the gauge, so we're good there. But it was running like crap. It sounded like it had a huge misfire, was shaking like crazy, and was starting to throw codes. It was throwing a P0207 and P208, which are fuel injector faults. Came over here and checked. One of them wasn't fully seated all the way, so that's cylinder 7, cylinder 8, by the way. One of them wasn't seated all the way, and the other one wasn't even plugged in, so that was my fault. I thought I had checked everything, thought I had everything plugged in. I didn't. I do now, though, so here we go. We're going to give it a crank. Alright, so it sounds great now. At this point, the only thing really left to do is we need to bleed the coolant system, and we should be good to go. So that's going to do it for this video this week. We'll catch you next time.